Hot off the press, the numbers are out for the Tucson Housing Market Report for October 2022. I'm going to dive on into the numbers and let you know what they mean, whether you're a buyer or a seller here in the Tucson housing market. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford here in Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty, and welcome to this episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection. And each and every month I go over the Tucson Housing Market Report, and the numbers are out for October 2022, and I'm going to dive on into the numbers, and depends on what side of the fence you're on, whether you're a buyer or a seller, what that means to you, or maybe even a combination of both, selling and buying. So let's dive on into the numbers. Before I get into the Tucson specific housing market numbers, want to talk about news and what's been driving this market. What's been driving this market is the feds have been aggressively raising interest rates over the last 6 months, which is having a big impact on the housing market. And so home values haven't decreased that much relative to what interest rates have been doing. Therefore, it's really starting to slow down this market just because affordability, home affordability is as high as it's ever been. So first off, I want to go over interest rates, and then I'll kind of explain the impact that it has on a mortgage payment. So on a 30-year fixed right now, rates are 7.0%. And then on a 15-year fixed, you're looking at 6.38%. So rates have more than doubled over the last 6 months. So I took some notes here. So for example, let's say you were to buy a home and the mortgage that you are getting is $250,000. So at the beginning of the year, rates on a 30-year fixed were sitting at 3.11. So your mortgage payment would have been your principal and interest payment would have been $1,069 for a loan amount of $250,000. So if you take the same loan amount, $250,000, let's say prices stayed consistent, you put the same amount of money down and your loan amount was the exact same, $250,000, your current rate being 7.08%, your principal and interest payment would be $1,677. So the difference in your payment is $608. So that's the significance of, again, interest rates going up from the beginning of the year to now, almost 4%. So they've more than doubled. And that does a lot of different things. Number one, when people are applying for a mortgage, the lenders are looking at what they call your debt to income ratio. It's called DTI. And that is a percentage of your overall income in relationship to your debt, your mortgage payment, and any consumer debt, car payments, any type of credit card payment is calculated into what we call your debt to income ratio. So what's happening now is because of interest rates going up, people's DTIs are now exceeding what they can qualify for. So typically in the mortgage industry, a typical debt to income ratio that you can go up to is anywhere from about 40 to 45% debt to income. And so if your DTI is above that, you can no longer be qualified for that loan amount. So a couple things would need to happen. Either home values come down, or you go find a less expensive home, and or you put more money down in order to get your loan amount down to a level that would then qualify you in terms of your debt to income ratio. So again, as interest rates go up, the feds are trying to curb inflation and also slow the housing market. So the big question is hopefully they don't kill the housing market with rates going up too much. So we'll see what they do. I don't know if they have a whole lot more to go. So hopefully interest rates will stabilize from here. But again, from a home affordability standpoint, home values would then have to go down to then get people to a place to where they could have a debt to income ratio that would allow them to be able to afford housing. So that's the big news, and that's what's going on. That's what's been driving the housing market. And again, I'm going to go into inventory. As a result, inventory levels are going up, and I'm going to talk about the median home price, which, although we've had a pullback, it hasn't been significant. So again, that's what's been driving our housing market in Tucson and across the country. Let's dive on into the numbers. The first number I want to start with is what we call percentage of list. And that is, if somebody were to list their home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price would a seller get? And in a normal, healthy market, percentage of list is anywhere from 92 to 97%. So if somebody were to list a home for $100,000, they can expect to get anywhere from $92,000 upwards to $97,000. And in the last couple of years, we've been in a crazy market. Percentage of list has been over, at, or above 100%. And things have started to slow down since June of 2022. So we're finally starting to see percentage of list be below 100%. So for October 2022, percentage of list for single family homes was 98.5%. For townhomes and condos, percentage of list was 98.3%. So if you're a seller out there, you can anticipate getting, if you're priced right, getting a couple percent below your list price. And as a buyer out there, in terms of when you write an offer, you're no longer having to write offers that are at or above the list price, but below, and able to negotiate price with the seller. The next number I want to cover is what we call months supply of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were to hit the market today, how long would it take for all the inventory to be sold off in the MLS? And in a normal, healthy market, month supply of inventory is anywhere from about 45 upwards to 90 days. And in the market that we've been over the last couple of years, we've had month supply of inventory below 30 days. And we're finally, because inventory levels are going up, month supply of inventory is now much more based on inventory and supply and demand, which I'm going to be covering later in this video. So month supply of inventory for single family homes, you're looking at 2.3 months, which is about 69 days. So it would take about 69 days, if no other homes were to hit the market today, for all the single family homes to be sold off. For townhomes and condos, you're looking at 1.7 months, which is about 51 days. So again, if your home's priced right, you can anticipate it being sold within a couple of months. I'm going to go over days on market, but again, we're finally starting to see this number go up as a result of inventory levels starting to increase. The next number I want to go over is what we call days on market. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, how long does it take from the time that you list until the time that it goes under contract? Not from the time that you list until the time that it actually closes. And in a normal, healthy market, days on market is typically 45 to maybe 60 days. We've been well below that over the last couple years. We're still slightly below that, but this number is starting to increase due to increased inventory. So days on market for single family homes listed in the MLS October 2022 was 30 days. For townhomes and condos, days on market was 25 days. So again, if your home's priced correctly, you can anticipate it going under contract within 30 days. And again, it's all about listing your home correctly, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. By now, you're probably asking, what are home values doing here in Tucson? And this number is surprising me a little bit. With home inventory levels on the rise, this market cooling off, I would have thought we would have had a slightly bigger pullback in terms of the median home sales price here in Tucson, but it hasn't been the case. We are holding strong. Although the market is slowing down, we've seen a slight pullback. It has not been significant. And over the last couple of years, we've seen double-digit appreciation rates, and that has not been the case this year. The appreciation that we've seen happened from January to June. Since then, we've been going slightly down and sideways. And in a normal, healthy market, homes typically appreciate 4 to 8%. In a good year, 8 to 12%. So we've been far above that, but in my opinion, we're now back to normal appreciation rates, but time will tell in terms of how big of a pullback we could potentially get. So Home values, median home sales price, October 2022, single family homes looking at $380,000, up year over year, 12.7%. For townhomes and condos, we've got a median home sales price of $250,000, up 20.7%. And again, the appreciation that we've seen for 6 months of the year. So that's what's going on for Tucson. The median home sales price, October 2022. Now I'm going to go over my favorite number, and that is supply and demand economics 101, and that is inventory. And over the last couple years, we saw inventory drastically go down, demand go up. Therefore, we saw double-digit appreciation year over year, and that's what caused the craziness in the market. It was just very little inventory and a lot of demand, a lot of buyers coming to the table. And again, things have started to change. Inventory levels are starting to tick up, and we're heading into more of a neutral, buyer-friendly market. So it's good news for buyers. I mean, the one bad news for buyers, like I just talked about, is home prices haven't pulled back all that much. So could happen, but as of right now, home prices haven't pulled back as a result of increased inventory. So inventory levels for October 2022 for single family homes is 2,526 active listings, and year over year, we're up 35.8%. So year over year, we've seen inventory levels increase 35%. So we've seen them more than double from the lows. So inventory levels, again, definitely starting to tick up, and over time, we'll see whether or not that has an impact on home prices. So for townhomes and condos, there are October 2022, 316 active listings, and townhomes and condos are up 71.7%. So big jump in inventory for townhomes and condos. Again, still relatively low. And townhomes and condos have kind of become the hot ticket item from a home affordability standpoint. They're just less expensive. That's why the days on market is a little less. And that's why the inventory levels were so low when it came to townhomes and condos. So this is a number to keep an eye on. It's one that I look at daily, and each and every month I do a live where we log into the MLS, and I've kept an Excel spreadsheet, and we take a look at home inventory levels. So I would encourage you to go look at those videos and/or subscribe to the channel, and then you can see that live each and every month that I do, where we dive on into home inventory levels. If you're one to want to geek out on the numbers, I would encourage you to head on over to my website, Tucson Homes and Lots, and I'm going to show you how to get the full report. I cover some of my favorite numbers, but there's a lot more to the report. And each and every month, TAR puts out a full detailed report. So I would encourage you to check it out. If you go over to Tucson Homes and Lots, and if you scroll down, you're going to see my Tucson monthly market update. And if you click on the market update, then it's going to take you to my blog post. And on the blog post here, if you scroll down in Tucson Housing Market Full Report, if you click on that, it's then going to pull up the full report. So I would encourage you to take a look at it. There's some really good information, and you can dive deeper into the numbers. A couple other things to consider, especially if you're a seller out there. It's so important to price your home correctly. And I would encourage you to look at closed sales comps of 60 to maybe 90 days back at most. Anything further than 90 days is not going to give you a realistic expectation in terms of how long it's going to take you to sell your home, and also pricing it correctly. So again, encourage you to do that. And if you're a buyer out there, again, look at comps that are 30, 60, 90 days at most, because this market has definitely changed. And another thing to consider whether you're a seller and or a buyer, and that is seller concessions. So as a result of this market changing, sellers are offering seller concessions in order to be competitive. And if you're a buyer out there as well, when you write the contract, you can be negotiating price and or asking for seller concessions. And I did a video, there's a link right there in regards to seller concessions, and goes into an explanation on what they are and how to utilize them. So again, Hope you liked this video. If you did, do me a huge favor. Give me an internet high five by liking it. If you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment below. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, make it a great day. I almost forgot one more thing. We've got a 16-foot box moving truck. So if you use us to buy or sell a home, you're more than welcome to use our truck. And even after the fact down the road, if you ever need to move appliances or furniture, pick something up at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're more than welcome to use our truck.